This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Communities from down east through southern Maine united today to observe Maine Commercial Fishing Remembrance Day. It's a day to honor commercial fishermen who've been lost at sea. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. Ceremonies were held in communities all along the coast. Our Grace Blanchard has more.
For commercial fishermen, every voyage could be their last.
It's the most dangerous job in the world. Men and women go to sea every day. They don't come home.
This year marks the first Maine Commercial Fishing Remembrance Day, following the passage of legislation. It's a day to honor those who have lost their lives while making a living on the water.
Those of us that grew up here and have always been here know the sacrifices that are made.
Dedicated in 2016, the Lost Fishermen's Memorial in Lubec honors commercial fishermen from Washington County and Charlotte County, New Brunswick. This year, 2 more names were added: Thomas West and Stephen Johnson Jr.
Thomas West.
Spent many years lobstering with him, so it's been a tough few months.
63-year-old Thomas West of Steuben was recovered from the waters of Dyer Bay in April. His granddaughter says he spent the best years of his life on the water.
That was his life. I mean, 63 years old, he would go out and do these things by himself every day. He lived or died by the ocean. I mean, he went where he wanted to. He would say that, when it's my time, God will take me, and he wanted to be right by the water, so that took him right where he wanted to be.
The statewide observance also aims to inspire continued progress in commercial fishing safety.
Anything we can do to bring awareness to the communities for future generations.
Additional remembrance wreaths will also be placed at memorials all along the Maine coast. In Lubec, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
In other news, after securing a large majority of delegates before this weekend's nominating convention, support has shifted behind Troy Jackson to replace Graham Plattner as the Democratic Senate nominee. Our Calvin White has more.
Troy Jackson is now expected to take the Democratic nomination for Senate after 478 of 500 delegates have already pledged their support for the former Maine Senate president. University of Maine political science chair Mark Brewer says Jackson's previous gubernatorial campaign's closeness with Plattner's campaign gave him an advantage in the large field of Democrats.
For some folks, particularly those former Plattner supporters and Plattner volunteers who really were unhappy that Plattner was forced out and wanted to have a say over who was going to be the replacement, I mean, for them, Jackson was, I think, the obvious choice.
While the nomination process came together quickly after Plattner's last-minute exit from the race, those looking to choose his replacement felt the process reflected their wishes.
I tried to apply to be a delegate for the upcoming convention, and I was going to vote for Troy. I'm a registered Democrat as well, and Graham Plattner was the choice originally for me, and then when he dropped out, Troy was a natural next best option. So
I really like a lot of his work with unions. That's one of my favorite things. I went to the University of Maine. He did a lot of work there with the grad student union. I think that's very impressive, just to care about even the smallest of people.
Jackson will face an uphill battle to unseat incumbent Republican Senator Susan Collins, whose consistent voting bloc is unswayed by the Allagash native who originally ran for office as a Republican in 2000.
I just think he's equally a poor candidate.
Why so?
I just, he has no stand really on anything other than free stuff for everybody, so.
Do you know who you're going to be voting for this election?
Susan Collins, for sure, yeah.
After the scramble to find a new candidate, the Maine Democratic Party will have to quickly pivot its focus to fundraising for a highly contested U.S. Senate seat that the Collins campaign has already spent millions vying to keep. In Bangor, Calvin White, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
This summer, one central Maine town has become the epicenter of railroad fires in Maine. Our Alex Schley takes a closer look at the growing problem and why officials say it's happening.
Despite being home to less than 1% of Maine's train tracks, this year alone, Oakland has seen nearly 70% of the state's railroad-related wildfires. Scenes like this have become a familiar sight along the railroad tracks in Oakland.
You know, from the end of April through May, and then now into July, maybe average one a week.
This section of woods off Fairfield Street saw the town's largest railroad fire of the year, which burned 6 acres at the end of April.
We got a 6-acre fire here in Oakland. and was responded to by the local fire department and a couple of the other mutual aid departments in the area.
The Maine Forest Service officially determines the cause of each fire. Local fire officials say they can usually tell when the railroad played a role.
I mean, we classify anything as a railroad fire if it's along the railroad tracks and looks like it originated from the trains.
What remains less clear is why so many of these fires have been happening in Oakland.
They're unpredictable. We don't know when they're going to happen, so also trying to determine why they happen on a certain piece of track. There's a couple locations, we've had multiples in the same location. So when there is a slight grade, so the engines maybe are working harder coming up the grades, which cause more exhaust, more sparks potentially. So that could play into it.
Whatever the cause, fire officials say quick reporting from residents has kept every fire this year from growing into something far more dangerous. They are asking the public to remain vigilant and continue reporting fires when they occur. In Oakland, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A fire that damaged an eastern Maine church yesterday has now been deemed arson. Pembroke Fire Chief Jim Ramsdell says crews from several towns were called to the Dennisville Edmonds Congregational Church on King Street in Dennisville about 7:30 a.m. yesterday. He says a passerby noticed the flames and called for help. Crews were able to put the fire out fairly quickly, but there was damage to the siding. The church has been serving the community since 1834. The Maine State Fire Marshal's office has ruled the fire as arson. Anyone with information is asked to contact their office at 207-973-3700. Well, Maine's Republican gubernatorial candidate Bobby Charles put out a challenge to his race opponents today, calling for town hall-style debates. He says he wants to discuss issues relevant to the state's well-being, including public safety, immigration, the state's budget, housing, and more. Here's some of what he had to say.
But these are three people vying to be governor who ought to be able to say to the Maine people, I will go forward and defend all those things that I've done both in my life and more importantly on the policy front.
Well, we'll have more details, including reaction from other candidates a bit later this evening. Well, for several weeks now, a group of Ellsworth residents has been working to get an initiative on the ballot to recall several city councilors. City officials confirmed that effort is now over. The effort came after residents expressed concern over city spending, rising taxes, and the controversial sanctioning of council member Steve O'Halloran. 1,500 signatures were needed to get the measure to recall multiple city councilors on the ballot this November. City officials say the group does not have the needed signatures, and so the measure will not move forward. They say they have posted an update outlining the final verification results and the conclusion of the process on the city website. In other news, Stephanie Dameron has been missing from her home in New Sweden since September of 2024, and this Saturday her family is organizing a public ground search and is asking for volunteers to help. Stephanie was 13 years old when she was reported missing. She has not been found. There have been no credible sightings. According to her parents, she walked into the woods near their home after an argument with her sister. They reported her missing the next day. The FBI announced a $15,000 reward for any information that leads to Stephanie's return or the arrest of anyone involved in her disappearance. Volunteers in Saturday's search are asked to meet behind North Star at the ball field in New Sweden at 8 a.m. The search will begin at 9 a.m. If you have a four-wheeler, they ask that you consider bringing it. The family hopes to search areas just off the ATV trails that they say may not have been thoroughly covered so far. And Maine State Police are investigating a multi-vehicle crash yesterday that injured 3 people. According to the Maine State Police, it happened on I-95 North near mile marker 123 in Sydney around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. They say traffic had slowed due to an ongoing traffic stop in progress. They say 58-year-old Derek Forbes of Brewer was driving a truck and failed to slow down in time, striking the rear of the car ahead of him. Police say Forbes' truck also sideswiped 2 other cars. 2 drivers and a passenger were transported off the scene with non-life-threatening injuries. Both lanes were briefly shut down in order to clean up debris from the crash. Maine State Police would like to remind traveling motorists to maintain a safe following distance during heavy traffic and to slow down in general. Anyone who witnessed the crash or has any relevant information is urged to contact Trooper Keenan Blair at 207-973-3700. Alrighty, folks, let's pause now and we'll take a first look at our forecast.
Well, today was another very nice day out there, very similar to yesterday. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s going forward, very similar for tomorrow. A little bit warmer, but warmer weather is on the way. Taking a look at radar right now, lots of clouds, but nothing else happening. Still a very nice day out there. We've seen some sunshine. We've had some clouds. However, we do have some chances for showers and thunderstorms on the way later this evening, overnight tonight, and lasting throughout much of the day tomorrow. However, tomorrow we're looking at a lot more scattered, so there will be dry periods throughout the day tomorrow, but we're looking at scattered showers for tomorrow. For tonight, temperatures falling right into the mid to upper 60s.
Thank you, Anna. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, we have more of your local news.
Susan Collins broke her promise to protect Roe v. Wade. When Donald Trump called, she cast the deciding vote for his Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe v. Wade. And she voted to put more than 100 Trump judges on the bench. States are banning abortion without exceptions, and women are dying. But Susan Collins says,
I do not regret that vote.
Tell Susan Collins to stop breaking her word. Stop voting for Trump's anti-choice judges.
This is big fun, Bangor style. The Bangor State Fair. 10 days of summer fun for the family. With the Championship Demolition Derby, banging it up in front of the grandstand, Friday, July 31st and Saturday, August 8th. Sponsored by Steve Smith, Trial Lawyers, and Maine Quitlink. Bangor State Fair, presented July 30th through August 8th by Martin's. Plan your day at BangorStateFair.com.
Webb's RV Center has a 4-acre lot with over 75 previously owned campers all on sale, plus another 4 acres of new RVs and motorhomes. Webb's RV will take anything in trade. You can buy a camper anywhere, but be sure to buy your next camper at your local neighbor. A website can't service your RV, but Webb's RV will, and they have the biggest service department in the state of Maine to help you enjoy your RV or motorhome.
So come on down, neighbor. The coffee pot's on and the pencil is sharp.
Make your outdoor living space dreams come true with a little help from Granville Stone and Hearth. Granville can help you go from this to this. Outdoor fireplaces, custom outdoor kitchens, gorgeous stone patios, and more. You bring the dreams, we'll supply the materials to make it all real. Create your stunning outdoor oasis with help from the experts at Granville Stone and Hearth, Main Road, Holden.
Invest in your nest with the County Federal Credit Union. Your home has grown in value season after season. With the county's 1010 Home Equity Line of Credit, you can borrow up to your credit limit over 10 years with interest-only payments over those 10 years, 10-10. And then you can stop and smell the roses, soak up the sun, and invest in your nest. The 1010 Home Equity Line of Credit, the County Federal Credit Union, countyfcu.org.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back. The city of Brewer revealed a brand new monument that honors the city's rich history of ice harvesting. Our Sam Miller reports.
Held on the Brewer Riverwalk on the former Getchell Brothers property, a ceremony unveiled a piece of art that stands as a tribute to the city's ice harvesting heritage and generations of people who worked to shape Brewer's waterfront. The monument was commissioned and donated to the city by Doug and Nikki Farnham, the former owners of Getchell Brothers. It is dedicated to the people behind one of the most recognizable businesses in the region, an industry that shaped the economic development of Brewer and the greater Bangor region for over a century. The centerpiece of the monument is a 4-foot by 6-foot bronze bas relief mounted on a piece of natural granite. It measures around 8 feet tall and 10 feet wide and overlooks the waterfront where Getchell employees harvested and produced ice. The original concept of the art was an Iceman sculpture. However, Maine sculptor Glenn Hines wanted to create a meaningful piece that captured the history of the industry.
Well, ice making was a very big industry in Maine in the 19th century. Maine ice was shipped around the world. It was very important for the shipping industry locally here in Brewer and Bangor.
Getchell Brothers was the last remaining ice company operating on the Penobscot by 1920. The company continued to produce and manufacture ice from its Brewer facility until 2018. Then production moved to Bangor, where it continues today. Doug Farnham is hopeful that the monument serves as a reminder of the 133-year legacy that Getchell Brothers left.
Being able to put something along the Riverwalk that allows everybody to remember the impact of the industry and to remember Getchell Brothers is important to both myself and the family.
In Brewer, Sam Miller, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, Jack Webb is in with the latest in sports, and we'll have your full forecast. Stay tuned.
Hi. You okay? Yeah, just changing up my look. I see that. I gotta lay low. See that brand new Hyundai Tucson? I only paid.
Huh. Well, you look stunning.
Enjoy your new car. Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Lease an all-wheel drive Hyundai Tucson SE for $209 a month or get 0% APR plus 0 payments for 90 days. Hurry in.
Keep your boat safe, functional, and beautiful with a Shoremaster boat lift from Hammond Lumber Company. Your Hammond sales rep can help you choose the perfect lift for your boat. Shoremaster's exclusive Whisper winch offers the industry's smoothest and quietest operation. Add speed and convenience with a Shoremaster lift motor. And Shoremaster's modular Infinity design makes it easy to upgrade with accessories when you're ready. Take your boating experience to the next level with a Shoremaster boat lift from Hammond Lumber Company.
For the best selection in classic and contemporary furnishings, stop by Richard Parks Furniture on High Street in Ellsworth. Handcrafted New England-made bedrooms and dining rooms, imported Scandinavian recliners and upholstery, more than 40 lines of furniture for the home and patio. Richard Parks Furniture is your #1 stop for quality, functionality, and well-designed furniture at affordable prices. Richard Parks Furniture.
Discover Richard Parks.
132 High Street in Ellsworth.
Discover Richard.
When the morning light hits Maine, start your day with Good Morning Maine. Craig Colson, Janessa Bishop, by your side, bringing the stories that matter statewide. Local news and the forecast ahead. Wake up informed, ready to go on ABC 7 and Fox 22.
Hey, Maine, think you're wicked smart? Well, put your knowledge to the test with me, Ken Jennings, on Jeopardy! Weeknights at 7:30 on ABC 7.
Welcome back in, folks. We'll start with some fun news regarding the Maine basketball royal family. The Flags will be appearing on Celebrity Family Feud on Thursday. Cooper will be joined by his brother and Maine basketball star Ace, his brother Hunter, and parents Kelly and Ralph as they take on Team Barstool in the family favorite game show. Team Barstool will have familiar faces such as Dave Portnoy and Ryan Whitney. This special episode is set to air on Thursday at 8 p.m. on ABC, and ABC actually sent us a quick preview. Check it out.
Name something a player probably got that a regular guy might not.
Lots of women.
You say he better not?
Better not.
Well, Miss Kelly, you're a little late for that one, huh? He's in the league now. He's under the influence.
It's under Mama's influence. No, Mama said no.
Yeah, my mama told me no, too. I love my mama dearly, Miss Kelly. As soon as she let me out of Sunday school, I wanted a girl. Got lots of women.
That is too good. Kelly, a UMaine basketball star in her own right. Let's go to the Red Sox now, who are now on a 14-game win streak after last night's thriller against the Baltimore Orioles. Monday night's victory was an exciting one for Boston fans, and it certainly wasn't an easy one for the team. The Red Sox and Orioles went back and forth all night long. There were a total of 5 lead changes, with Baltimore taking the lead in the 7th. Ceddanne Raphael's clutch 2-out single tied the game in the bottom of the inning, sending it to the 8th with a 5-5 score and allowing no runs at the top of the 8th. Boston's Caleb Durbin took the plate at the bottom of the frame and knocked one over the Green Monster to take the 6-5 lead. It would stick out after another shutout in the top of the 9th. This win marks the 14th straight for the Sox, the second longest run in the franchise history. Interim manager Chad Tracy says this win streak is strictly a result of solid execution by the players.
It was unbelievable. It was a heck of an effort. Had to come back multiple times and kept fighting back. It was was a heck of a win. We're playing good baseball. I know it's hard to win that many games in a row when you're playing good baseball, but we're doing a lot of things right. So I mean, yeah, the number of wins in a row is hard to believe, but they're playing, they're giving everything they got, and they're executing, and they're doing a great job.
Tonight's game against the Orioles has been postponed to play a doubleheader on Wednesday. For now, that's all the time we have for sports. Here is your full 5-day forecast.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Patriot General Contractors, your go-to for all your carpentry needs. Whether it's a full remodel or a window replacement, they have you covered. Well, let's take a look at those temperatures out there today. Back in the mid-70s and upper 70s. Very nice weather out there today. Very similar for tomorrow. However, we will be dealing with some showers and thunderstorms making their way through tomorrow. Temperature-wise, very similar once again on Thursday. This is what we're looking at temperatures going forward. The next couple of days, we're looking at temperatures still in the mid to upper 70s, but by this weekend, we're going to be back in the low to mid 80s, lasting through much of the start of your next work week. Now, we also are dealing with a little bit of humidity out there. Once the showers and thunderstorms make their way through, we will see a decrease in the humidity, and it's going to feel much nicer heading into the weekend. Now, like I said, we do have some chances for showers and thunderstorms. Those will be starting tonight, throughout much of the night tonight, and then will be becoming more scattered tomorrow afternoon. Taking a look at radar right now, lots of clouds, however, nothing else. We've seen some peaks of sunshine in there as well. Couple sprinkles cannot be ruled out. However, this is all coming our way for tonight through tomorrow. Like I said, we'll see more scattered tomorrow. So taking a look, this is tonight, lasting through much of the night tonight into the early morning hours of tomorrow. Again, then we'll have a bit of a break before we see some more scattered showers and thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. After that, though, we're looking at much drier weather into Thursday and into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Very nice weather for this weekend. A little bit warmer for us, but fortunately it will be dry as well. So it's a very nice weekend to get outside and enjoy this weather that we will be having. For tonight, temperatures in the low 60s with some showers and thunderstorms. It will be a bit windy out there as well, and we have the chances for some dense fog. For tomorrow, temperatures in the upper 70s, mostly cloudy skies, and we will see those scattered showers and thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. Taking a look at your extended forecast, after tomorrow, much nicer weather is on the way. Upper 70s with partly cloudy skies on Thursday. More sunshine returns on Friday with temperatures in the low 80s. By Saturday, we're back in the mid-80s with lots of sunshine, and Sunday, few more clouds come back with temperatures still hanging out in the mid-80s.
So the heat returning, but at least those overnight lows staying nice and cool for some relief there. Glad to see it. Alrighty, folks, there is still more to come. Stay with us.
If you've been injured in a motorcycle wreck, call 855 Iron Law today. Iron Horse Motorcycle Lawyers. We protect our own.
Are your gutters weighed down by debris causing them to sag and overflow?
I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems. Clogged gutters lead to costly repairs for your home, so skip the cleaning and stop the clogs with Gutter Shutter. Gutter Shutter, the world's best gutter, is a high-performance gutter with a lifetime no-clog guarantee. Stop the clutter, get Gutter Shutter. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
Critical investments are strengthening Maine, thanks to Senator Susan Collins. The biggest investment in our rural hospitals in decades. New investments for working waterfronts, like the breakwater in Eastport. Investments to help homeless veterans find housing. Investments for Maine to train new doctors and nurses. Thousands of investments, thanks to the power of Senator Susan Collins. Call Senator Collins and ask her to keep delivering for Maine.
Bob's Discount is about to go even further. The Massachusetts sales tax holiday is officially the weekend of August 8th and 9th, and it's already gimmicks galore out there. With Bob's Discount, you get untouchable values every day.
Oh, my Bob!
It's a big, big deal. Summer is a big deal at Toyota.
It's the final days of Toyota's Big Deal Summer Event, where you could get an affordable $315 a month lease on a ruggedly refined, fuel-sipping Tacoma SR5 with a $16,024 total contract cost. Summer's a big deal at Toyota, the longest-lasting brand with the best resale value. So see your New England Toyota dealer.
It's a big deal.
Toyota, let's go places.
Cancer affects everyone, but there is hope at Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center's Champion the Cure Challenge, where every dollar raised helps patients in our own backyard. Make a difference. Walk, run, or cycle August 15th in Brewer. Visit ctcchallenge.org.
A collaboration between Maine DOT and the Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife is successfully safeguarding animals and humans as they move through the outdoors. Here are pictures of a wildlife crossing that was built thanks to a collaboration between the two agencies. You can see a turkey, a bobcat, and deer safely crossing under a stretch of I-395, otherwise known as the Route 9 connector. The unique wildlife underpass was built specifically to accommodate both animal and human activity, and it certainly appears to be working. Finally tonight, a woman from Levant is finding joy by the dozen after deciding to open her own bakery. As our Jody Hersey found out, it was a way for her to do what she loves and nourish others at the same time.
These are s'mores cookies.
Jacqueline Rand feels right at home in the kitchen. You can find her most days baking bread or cookies using the commercial kitchen inside the Sniff and Snack Barkery in Levant. This shop, which offers locally made dog treats as well as baked goods and gifts for people, is owned by Sherry Hashi.
I'm a huge fan of helping any other small business. We've done it repeatedly, trying to help others, get up, get their business going, and in any way that we can help, we have.
Rand's business, The Way We Were Bakery, joined the shop 3 months ago and has attracted many customers, including those looking for gluten-free options.
I do a lot of things actually, but my big one is breads, focaccia breads, croissant breads, sandwich breads of different flavors and things like that. I do cookies, pastries. I do some take-home meals out of here.
She just knows what she's doing. She puts her heart and soul into it. You can see it. You can taste it in her food.
Rand said baking for others feeds her soul as well, especially since she knows people with food sensitivities don't always have a lot of options.
And I just decided, you know what, I'm going to do this because I enjoy doing this. And if you really enjoy it, it's not hard work.
In Levant, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Some delicious looking items there, that is for sure. Alrighty, folks, that is going to do it for us. From everyone here at ABC 7, have a great rest of your night. And for more, join us over on Fox 22 News tonight at 6:30.
PowerPoint tracking severe storms and possible tornadoes.
To do, and if you're a smart person, you say, no, it's not a smart thing to do. And I will try to find a car that may not be pretty, that I can afford and not pay for. So your case is dismissed, period. Now, you may have hurt your hand because I saw how she was pulling at the door. And it was a frightening experience, and she's got to be taught a lesson that that's not the way civilized people behave.
Yes, ma'am.
Judgment on the counterclaim for $500. We're done.
Even though he wrote me a check for...
We're done!
Oh, excuse me, step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
I don't think it was the right decision because that man knows he's wrong and he knows that he gets over on people.
I want this to be over with, and I want her out of my everything.
What comes around goes around, and karma's not done with him. This is just the start of it.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
Communities from down east through southern Maine united today to observe Maine Commercial Fishing Remembrance Day, a day to honor commercial fishermen who've been lost at sea. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. Ceremonies were held in communities all along the coast. Our Grace Blanchard has more.
For commercial fishermen, every voyage could be their last.
It's the most dangerous job in the world. Men and women go to sea every day. They don't come home.
This year marks the first Maine Commercial Fishing Remembrance Day, following the passage of legislation. It's a day to honor those who have lost their lives while making a living on the water.
Those of us that grew up here and have always been here know the sacrifices that are made.
Dedicated in 2016, the Lost Fishermen's Memorial